Evening all, Stephen here, coming to you once again from my fireside here in London in the UK. Fire's just starting to pick up a bit now. It's taken a bit of a while to get going. It's freezing here today. We've had a lot of sleet during the day and just generally pretty cold and miserable. Bit of housekeeping. I'm smoking my Mr. Brog pearwood, and in it I've got some Solani Virginia flake with Perique. Very nice tobacco. And with it I'm drinking some beer. Cheers for your good health. Tonight I'm drinking an old favourite, standby of mine, Wadworth 6X. It's a West Country brewery. Not too strong, so it's sort of what we call a session beer. Which is just as well because I started a bit early today because I do like a beer when I'm watching the rugby, and I've just watched a fantastic game in the Rugby Union Six Nations Championships between England and Wales. Really good stuff. It was a shame one side had to lose, but seeing as one side did have to lose, I'm glad it was Wales. So yeah, England clinched it at the end, but it was an amazing game, really was. And the purpose of this video is a VR to Toking Tommy and his 1,000 sub giveaway. No surprise that Tommy's reached 1,000 because he puts up fantastic videos, really helpful and informative, and he seems to be a lovely character as well. He was one of the very first people that I subbed to when I started pipe smoking last year. And I think I've watched just about every video he's put up, and his no nonsense approach and, you know, really straightforward. I love it. Very informative. So congratulations, Tom. Onwards and upwards. Looking forward to a lot more videos from you in the future. And Tommy asked us to do a VR and name our worst tobaccos. Now, I only started smoking a pipe last summer, and in my VR to Derek Tan a couple of weeks back, when one of the questions he put was name your top 3 or top 5 blends, I said it was too soon, I couldn't possibly do it because I barely scratched the surface. But naming worst tobaccos is slightly easier because, you know, once you've had a few bowls of something, you know whether you like it or not. And there's 2 that I would definitely include on my list, but for different reasons. The first one I'd include is McBaron's Cube. And it's not necessarily that it's a bad tobacco, well, in some senses it's because the disparity between the description of the tobacco and the anticipation that built up compared to the reality of actually smoking it. It's an aromatic, and I don't smoke a lot of aromatics, but when I saw the description of this one, well, I've noted it down from the site that I bought it from. On the back of an envelope that I've repurposed for the occasion. Cube contains 8 different pressed burley from various continents, cut finely to add a rich, rounded taste. Then 7 specially treated Virginia variants give Cube the perfect roundness with a mildly sweet and slightly acidic taste. Finally, 12 different Cavendish tobaccos from Brazil and North America give it sweetness and freshness. And of course it's cased as well with fruit, citrus and cocoa. Sounds staggering. 8 Burleys, 7 Virginias, 12 Cavendish. I read the description. I thought, shut up and take my money. I've got to give this a go. I thought there was going to be a party in my mouth. With the whole alphabet of flavours dancing on my tongue. And I must admit, you know, as is usual with aromatics, I opened the pouch and I smelt it. Smell weird. It didn't smell of anything, one thing that I could put my finger on. But it certainly had a very aromatic smell to it. If that's not a contradiction, I suppose, you know, whatever. And then I lit it up and smoked it. And it was, what? You know, what's the fuss about? Was the initial reaction, and that reaction stayed with me through all the bowls that I smoked of it then after. I mean, I've had other aromatics that don't live up to the description, but this one was pretty much over the top in the way it was described. But at least those other aromatics had going for them that they were, even without the flavour, the aromatic element transferring through into the flavour, they were still a good smoke and a quality smoke. And I couldn't even say that about the McBaron Cube. It was just a very standard middle of the road tobacco that had been given a huge amount of hype. So that would go on my list of one of the worst I've actually ever smoked. But probably more because, as I say, the disparity between the description and the reality and the disappointment. But I know a lot of people like it. So, but that's the thing with pipe tobacco, it's all subjective, isn't it? One person's meat and another person's poison and all that. But anyway, that's on my list. Excuse me a sec. Now the second one, that's on there because of the actual taste. And that's Gawith Hogarth's Ennerdale Flake. A real love it or hate it tobacco, and I hated it. I thought, oh no. When I was a kid growing up in the 60s, on every Mother's Day or on my mum's birthday or at Christmas, I'd take my pocket money and trot down to Woolworths, not being a very imaginative boy, and I'd buy her a gift set, usually by a company called Yardley, probably in a sort of pink and red and gold box with a cellophane lid. And it would have a couple of bath cubes wrapped in gold foil, maybe a little tin of talcum powder, and a couple of garish pink soaps that had been moulded to look like roses. And the whole lot gave off, as you can imagine, quite a powerful smell. And it was the very first thing that came back to me when I smoked Ennerdale. I mean, I never tasted the stuff I bought my mum, but I like to imagine that if I had, it would taste something similar to Ennerdale. Overbearing floral taste, soapy floral taste. And once I'd smoked it, it got into my nose, my mouth, the back of my throat. I felt like I needed to have sort of an industrial cleaning to get rid of it, because that's how strong it was and how much it stayed with me. Really, really did not like it. But other people do. I know. I mean, then there's a lot of YouTube pipe community presenters that that I respect and respect their opinions, and they love the stuff, but not for me. I really didn't. And it put me off Lakelands in general, because if I now read a review of something and there's any hint of that Lakeland essence in there, I'm not even keen on trying it, because I've just decided it's just not for me. Oh. Far too soapy. I mean, what you won't know if you don't live in the UK, that on the TV in this country we have a soap opera called Emmerdale. So we've got a TV soap called Emmerdale, and we've got this tobacco called Ennerdale. Coincidence? You tell me. All I know is I'm not going to smoke it again. So that's it. Those are my two worst. Baron's Cube and Gareth Hogarth's Ennerdale. And with that I shall leave you. Congrats once again, Tommy. Love your videos. I really hope you're going to be putting up a lot more soon. And cheers from a very happy Englishman, because we've beaten the old enemy at rugby. And you have to put that into context. As an Englishman in particular, I think we've got so many old enemies. Depending on whichever sport or whatever you happen to be going in for. So many rivalries and old enemies. We've got the Welsh, the Scottish, the Irish, the French, the Germans. Don't get me started on the Germans and football, of course. So every game becomes sort of this matter of national pride. But anyway, it was a fantastic game, and really enjoyed it. And I hope all you people that watch the Super Bowl enjoy it. I didn't watch it myself. I've never really got into American football, although you can find it on the box here now, of course. But I watched the half-time performance by Lady Gaga, and I have to say, I mean, at my age, of course, she sort of passed me by. I'm not part of our target audience, but I watched that all the way through. She's a seriously talented woman, really. Anyway, that's all for now. I'm going to go off, enjoy the rest of my tobacco, drink a few more beers, and enjoy the rest of the Saturday evening. Hope wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you're warm, safe and comfortable, having a good time, and that you're happy. And with that, I bid you farewell and wish you long life and happiness and good health. Cheers everyone.